Hello and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I have not made a sit down talk video in a very long time. I've actually been gone for like 7 months. I don't know. I got busy. I got real busy. Let me tell you what I got busy with, okay? I got my first official corporate job. Don't clap. Don't clap. So this whole video, I'm gonna title it like surviving corporate as a 22-year-old. I officially got my corporate job when I first graduated college, which, let me give you some background. Let me start. I'm gonna give you some background on like who I am and like where I've been, what I've been doing, why I've been so focused on other things other than my YouTube channel, right? So I officially graduated from college with my bachelor in December of 2023. And I got my degree in public relations with a minor in sociology. Really loved it. It was a great time. But I kind of knew that I did not want to stick to traditional PR. I just did not think I would like it. I really do appreciate a good work-life balance. And the way my professors were making it sounded like there was going to be no work-life balance in the PR world. So I said, what's the next best thing? I said marketing. So I started my search for marketing jobs. I applied here and there for PR jobs, but I really wasn't committed to it. Took me about 6 months to get a job. Took me until May. So I was applying. Same story every new college grad has. Use LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, you name it, reached out to my past internships. Nobody was really hiring, but then I got lucky. This has like a whole nother story to it, but I'll just tell you in a nutshell. I applied to a paid media position because I heard of paid media in college. Did not really know what it was because they did not explain it well in college. And I just applied like with no thought towards it. I did not think I was getting the call back for that interview because my resume has nothing about paid media on it. And I'll tell you this part, it was for a law firm. So I get the call that they want to do a remote interview. I do the remote interview, it went well, but I still was like, I don't see them calling me back. I don't see this being like a thing. They did call me back. And I ended up doing an in-person interview at the law firm. I come in, I sit down, and kind of as soon as I sit down, my now boss is like, hey, so I saw that you applied for this paid media position. We kind of know that we already know who we want to fill it, but I really enjoyed your interview and I enjoyed chatting with you. I feel like your vibes are vibing. It's not what he said exactly, but you get the point. And he was like, we have this other position open that is a SEO and web coordinator position. And I looked at him and I said, I don't know anything about that. I was completely honest. I was like, I don't know what this is. I've heard of SEO, but again, like it was very minuscule stuff, very minuscule. I don't know anything about this, but I'm open to it. And he was like, cool. So that's the background in a nutshell. I hope that wasn't too long. And I've been at my job for 9 months now. So I've been in it for a minute and I'm gonna tell you all about it. I'm gonna tell you all the things that people don't tell you about corporate and getting your first job as a new graduate. Let's get into it. So number one, I wanna talk about the adjust to going from being in college, you kind of know what your day's gonna look like. And then all of a sudden now you are expected to be somewhere from 9 to 5, which is a lie. All my past internships were truly 9 to 5. For some reason, I guess once you hop into real corporate, like your real job, it's 9 to 6 or 8 to 5. I don't know why people love to call it a 9 to 5 workday when that is a lie. And I know some of y'all are like, no shit. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, lunch. They don't put lunch into your time. So you're there for not 8 hours, not an 8-hour day, it's a 9-hour day, which jarred me. I was like, that's a little ghetto. I already don't want to be here. You're telling me how to be here for another hour? That was crazy. So keep that in mind. Some jobs are true to the 9 to 5 schedule, but they are sparse. They are very sparse. So when I first started my job, my first month, I was in tears every single night. I hated it. Ooh, I did not like, not that I didn't like my job, don't get me wrong. Things are fine at the job. Like I was getting to know people, I was getting to know like what was expected of me. I just did not like the thought that this schedule was expected of me and is expected of me for, they say 40 years, I ain't gonna be here for 40 years. 30 years for me, from a lot of people was 40, 50 years. I just couldn't wrap my mind around like my freedom has now kind of been ripped from me, even though this is like what I've been praying for every single night, to finally get a job and like have money. But that also comes with your freedom just being ripped out of your hands. Like, no, you can't sit on The Sims and Overwatch until 5 a.m. anymore because you have to get up at 6 to go to your job 5 days a week. In person, in the office, yes. Like, you can't be in your PJs anymore. You have to be clothed and you have to look well enough because we're all judged by our appearance. Whole nother thing. So that jarred me. And so I wanted to give a little bit of advice on that because I know from the way I felt, I know a lot of people quit at that marker. Like, you feel that and your feelings are so real. And don't let anybody tell you like, everybody does it, like it is what it is, like do you want to, like don't let people like talk down to you, make you feel bad about like the feelings you're feeling in that month or those 3 months or those 6 months. But as a person, I went through it, and again, like people don't tell you this, so I want to tell you this. Yes, it does get better. People say that, but hear it from me. Hear it from somebody I know you weren't there to see it, but when I tell you I went through it, it was bad. Like, I'm not like saying, yeah, it was like that. No, it was bad. Like, I did not want to do it anymore. Didn't want to do it. I thought I was going to quit. So let me tell you, it does get better. Let me tell you what you're going to do. Your whole like mind is going through like a complete change. You have to warp your thinking. You're warping your schedule. Like this is like a whole new life that you've kind of just like stepped into in a day. You're going to give yourself a lot of empathy and a lot of time. You're going to chill out. You're going to calm down. Okay? As much as you can. You can go home and cry as much as you want, but hear me and remember me when I say this. Give it 3 months, and it does get better. You may get up every morning and be like, I don't want to go. But after like you get yourself into this routine, it just becomes clockwork, and it's just your schedule. And then you get those first couple checks, and you start buying what you want, and that really makes it better. It really does, especially if you're getting paid well, then it makes it all worth it. And if you have a job that really is like mine, that is good, like you like your job, just you're having that like split in your mind that's like, I can't put past these like emotions that I'm feeling towards this job that I honestly really want to like, that makes it even easier. Because like it's not the job that's like making it hard, it's just what's going on in your brain. So give yourself empathy. So much empathy, because I do promise it gets better. Don't quit though. You can't be a quitter. You got to stick it out. But I will say, if at like 6 months, you wake up every single morning consistently and you hate it, the job is not for you. It is not for you, and you're gonna have to find something else. But for the mass majority, it gets better, it gets easier. You'll be fine. Hear from me, you will be fine. I think the one thing I really just want to talk about and like say out loud is that just because now you've left college, you've left the educational sphere, and now you're like in an environment where people are usually going to be older than you, and maybe there'll be like a couple people that are younger than you, depending on where you work. This really depends. Usually if you go into like real corporate, a lot of people are going to be older than you. I just want to let you know, nobody has matured. Everybody is literally the same. Just because now we're in a different environment and we're expected to act a certain way does not mean people are going to. I've had experiences and conversations and just little like nitpicky things that have happened to me where I'm like, oh wow, this is triggering me because it feels like I'm back in school again and I'm being talked down to by somebody, or I feel like I'm being talked down to. Maybe I'm just being sensitive. It always comes back to like, is it a me issue? It probably isn't. And it just like triggers me and makes me feel like I'm back in a school system. It's like the whole thing of I really can't say anything to you or like stand up for myself because money's on the line now, So I just want to make you aware of that. It'll be fine. It really depends on your personality. I've become a pretty passive person over the years. I used to be pretty explosive, and I'm going to say what I want. But once you get to corporate, you really just can't do that. And especially when like you have bills and stuff to pay, you're always learning, and something you have to learn really quickly in corporate is when to swallow your pride. And again, like just because somebody says they're like 10, 20, 30 years older than you does not mean that they're mentally and emotionally mature. And no matter where you go, there's going to be somebody that does something to you that makes you feel some type of way and makes you want to say something. Try and keep it to yourself. Try and keep it yourself. There will always be like at least one person at your job that you can confide in. Pick them very wisely, and don't like try and have a big group of like people that you talk to at work. Pick them wisely, because work gossip is very bad. You don't want to be a part of any of that. But again, just find your person. Find maybe 2 people that are your people. Confide in them and call that a day. Go home and don't think about it. That's my advice on that part. For this last part, I might mix them into 2. I want to talk about just the money portion of things and the independence. It really goes into like the first topic I was talking about, but I kind of want to just brief it again. Just like, again, make everybody that's around my age feel better, or just like prepare you for like what most people go through when they first get their job. Like again, that shock. Remember the money. Remember the checks. Again, like it does make it worth it. I'm a type of person where I do not care if people are like, money doesn't buy happiness. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And you can go to work, maybe you like it, maybe you hate it. But at the end of the day, when you're able to like get that money and you can pay for your trips and you can move out of your parents' place and you can pay for your hobbies and pay for your clothes and the shopping sprees and literally do whatever you want, it makes it worth it. And trust me, you will go home at the end of the day and you won't really care about too much that happened that day, because you'll be thinking about the bigger picture. That's what I will say. Think about the big picture, not the small things, not the things that are annoying you at your job, or the things you don't like, or the things that make you like side eye a little bit. Think about big picture. What do I want my life to look like outside of work? Can my job give this to me? Financially, like, can you pay for me to do what I want outside of here? If it is, again, takeaway from this video, you gotta swallow the pride. You gotta swallow it, and you just gotta man up, woman up, and do what you gotta do. Just get your ass to work. And last but not least, another really good thing, the workload's completely different. I'm gonna chat about this. It's obvious, but I will chat about it a little. I think one thing that I like the most about finally being in corporate and having my job, other than the money, is when I go home, that's it. That's it. Once I step outside of the building and I hop in my car, I'm turning my brain off from work. Like, you have to not let it rule your life. And if you let it rule your life, that's when you like really mess up. But learn and train your brain really quickly. So when you step out the building and that computer is shut until 8 a.m. the next day, that's it. There's no tasks for you to do after work. If you're not getting paid to do tasks overtime, then it's not your problem. Anything you don't get done at 5, take your ass home. There's always the next day, especially if you work in like a marketing field. This may be different for other fields. I know like accounting, they have to work, like really work. Mind yourself, this whole video, I'm in marketing. And I'm talking to everybody mainly, but for this ending part, this might just apply situationally. But I still do think everybody should strive for a very good work-life balance. And I'm always trying to get at the office by like 5:20, 5:30 at the latest. Really, I'm supposed to leave at 5, but if I come in a little late, I'll stay a little later. After that computer shuts, whatever I didn't get done, it's never that deep, especially in a marketing field. Don't let anybody delude you into thinking that like something really needs to go up that minute, unless it was like a timely like PR thing or a timely blog about Christmas and it's like the day before Christmas, obviously get that up. But like other small things, it is not the end of the world. The company is not gonna go down and explode because you did not post this blog. Go home, relax, take your bath, talk to your family, talk to your partner, and go to sleep peacefully. At school, it's like you gotta take school home with you. You do. But at work, that's where like the peace and like the happiness and the I did it. Like, this is a whole nother chapter of my life where I get to choose what I spend my energy on. And I'm telling you now, don't spend a lot of it at work. Bring your best self to work most days, but you ain't gotta do it every day. If you don't want to talk a day, you don't gotta talk to anybody. You don't. And when you go home, don't spend all your energy at work. Save your energy for when you get back home. Yeah. Find a hobby too. I have not done that. I mean, my hobby is playing video games, but find like a sport or something that you like to do and like do that outside of work. That will bring you lots of happiness. I know a lot of people that do that. It really like helps you with that balance and helps you like exude whatever happened to you the other day. You're like getting out an energy, or you're spending that energy and like rubbing it off of you. Try and get a hobby that requires like physical stuff. I have not done that because I'm lazy, but I will soon as a part of the New Year's resolution. Thank you guys for watching. That is the end of this video. I'll be doing more. I kind of want to do one on maybe talking more about my interviews or just like the job search and how that went and like what offers I got, what I didn't, and like more details about that. And I also want to do like what I wear to work, because depending on where you work, I work at a law firm, so I try to dress really together and, you know, not show too much skin, not do too much, but also like adding in a little bit of personality and not just blending in with everybody else. Thank you guys for watching. Please watch my other videos or subscribe and stay tuned for more, because I promise this year I'm going to stick to some type of schedule. Like, you will see me again. Okay, bye guys.